right, perfect. We in the game. So, guys, excited to be in this new year. Just the energy that I'm getting from the call just lets me know, man, we're gonna start this year off right with everything we wanted to see. I did a call recently. It was a builder's call, and one of the things I talked about from the perspective of creating the momentum that we want to see, is going to have to be a major burst of energy. So we got to make sure everything we're doing it with high freaking energy, from shout outs to group chats, your team's group chats, your opportunity calls, your webinars, your events, your watch parties, whatever you do, make sure that you bring the freaking energy every single time. But guys, let's get the call started. So like I said at the top of the call, the year of 2020, it has this vibration to it where everybody's talking about vision. It's like every pastor that I watch, their first couple messages are about vision. Different entrepreneurs, they start the year doing different Instagram lives or different Facebook lives, and they're talking about vision. Even people that don't even have they're not an entrepreneur. They're just regular people going to school, working a job, but they say, hey, this is the year 2020 vision. Everything I believe is going to happen is going to happen in 2020. So the more you see that, the more you start believing that it's going to be possible for you. And I believe that, again, this is going to be the year where it's going to be a harvest. Like in 2019, we sowed so many seeds. Well, 2018, we started bamboo season, right? But in 2018, 2019, we sowed so many seeds of positivity, bamboo, like whatever the case may be. And I believe that 2020, we're going to watch that thing really begin to manifest in a way that we haven't seen before. But it takes complete buy-in from the people that want to see that happen in their lives. It's going to take you having a clear vision for what you want your life to look like, because of the harvest that's going to hit you slap in the face because of the work that you've been putting in. And if you haven't been putting in any work, you can't get mad at results that you didn't work for. You understand what I'm saying? You can't get jealous or insecure about results that you didn't work for. You can't complain and moan about why is this not happening to me when you haven't been putting in the work for that to happen to you. So obviously this call is we're not going to start a call any different. Like, we're going to talk about vision to start the year, because I want to make sure that everybody really, really gets this point about vision, because it's very important, because this is the year, like a perfect vision, clear vision, 2020 and all that stuff. And we did a call about 2020 vision back in like September, but I want to run it back again, but obviously with different material where it can make sense. But I need everybody to make me a promise. If you can make a promise, just drop "I promise" in the chat box. If you can make me a promise, you don't need to know what it is, but I need to see some people saying "I promise" in the chat box. I really need this promise from you. And what the promise is I'm not just gonna write notes, but I'm gonna apply what I'm writing down. Right? I'm not just gonna write the notes. I'm not just gonna, take what, the nuggets and the gems, and I'm not gonna just make a daily deposit. I'm not just gonna, repost, people on my story. I'm not just gonna be a fan, but I'm gonna take what he's saying. I'm gonna take what he's giving, and I'm actually gonna apply it and watch it take root in my life. Because the only way that you can get wisdom on your own is through application of knowledge. No knowledge is yours until you begin to practice in it. All right, you can't own any knowledge until you begin to practice in it, and that's what creates wisdom. Because through you practicing that knowledge, you get an experience. Experiences create wisdom, and you're going to need that for vision, because in the definition of vision, it clearly says that vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. That's what vision means. That's the definition of vision. So you want to write that note down so you can have an idea, a clear idea of what vision actually means. It's the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom, right? So there are a few components to a vision. There are 5 components to a vision. And I want to give you these components, right? Somebody said my shirt got vision in it. No, it says the vision. I don't think the shirt got vision in it. All right, but this is 5 components to a vision. And obviously the first 2 components are imagination and wisdom. The next 3 are patience, action, and faith. All right, patience, action, and faith. So you got 5 components, probably more out there that you can find, but these are the 5 that we're going to go with tonight. This is what the Spirit gave to me to give, right? So it's 5 components, right? Imagination, wisdom, straight out of the definition, and then patience, action, and faith, right? See, Now going back to the definition, the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. So Paul, see, your mind has two functions, right? Your mind has two functions. Your mind has the ability to imagine, and your mind has the ability to also play memory, right? Those are the two functions of the mind. You have the ability to imagine things, and you also have the ability to memorize stuff, right? So imagination allows you to plan the future. Imagination allows you to create something invisible, get to a point where you can believe it and it becomes visible. Your imagination allows you to create a vision, and that vision gets into your heart, and then you can begin to manifest that vision on earth, right? That's what the imagination does. Your memory, family, only allows you to replay the past over and over and over again. And one of the hindrances of a vision is your memory, right? Your memory can kill you or your memory can propel you, because what you really want to use your memory for is to memorize or remember what you've been brought from. You want to use your memory to remember what good has come along your process. You want to use your memory to really remember what God has done for you. That's what you want. That's what you want to use your memory for. All right, that's all you want to really use your memory for, especially when it comes down to building a successful business, becoming a trader. Because when you hold on to the memory of negativity of what used to be, right? When you hold on to the memory of where you once were before, and you're looking back, and every time you look back, you have to go back. But when you keep the vision in front of you, you can now begin to move forward towards that vision. But what happens to a lot of people is, family, every time you look at something, it becomes your history. Every time you see something, it becomes your history. So every time you open up your back office, for my people that are building a business, every time you open up your back office, right, and you log in, you check your dashboard, you go to your rank report, and you see the numbers from yesterday, you see the current numbers, that becomes a part of your past. When you begin to think about it over the course of time, you're now replaying an old memory. What you want to begin to do, guys, is pre-play the future and start replaying the past. See, every time a situation gets behind you, it's literally in your past. But again, what a lot of people do when they get involved in this type of business, they focus on what used to be. They focus on what was behind them. But in the vision, you have to be able to plan the future with your imagination and your wisdom. It doesn't say plan the future with your memory. It doesn't say that. It say plan the future with imagination. So if your imagination is one of your high faculties. That's something that God has given you, right? And as long as you don't have any type of accidents or anything, you're always going to have the ability to imagine. And I believe even if something did happen to you, you can still imagine, right? So your imagination is everything. Your imagination is a preview of what's to come. It's a preview of what God wants to give you. But if you use your memory and not your imagination, that hinders your vision every single time, right? So you got to have imagination. And then you got to have wisdom. I spoke very briefly a few minutes ago about wisdom being applied knowledge, right? If you do something over the course of time, you keep doing it, you get an experience. That experience now gives you wisdom. When you see somebody that's older, you say, man, that's a wise person. That person is very wise. Well, why are they wise? Because they've had so many experiences. But how do you cut the learning curve in half? How do you get wisdom without having to go through all of these different experiences? All you got to do is ask for it. All you got to do is ask for it. Let me prove it to you. See, it says in the good book right there in James 1:5, if anybody lacks wisdom, let him ask God. He gives graciously, he gives generously without reproach, and it will be given to you. That's what it says. So in order to have a vision, it's going to take imagination and it's going to take wisdom. Well, what happens if I don't have wisdom? Well, if I don't have wisdom, I just got to ask for it, because it says in James, if any of you lack wisdom, let them ask God, who gives generously without reproach, and it will be given to him. And then it says again in another book, for God gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. So all you got to do is ask. We talk about King Solomon when we're doing presentations about him being the richest man to ever live. Well, people don't really understand how Solomon became the richest man to ever live. God asked him in a dream, what did he desire? What was something that he wanted? And he said, God, just give me wisdom, right? To discern, to lead the people that you have given me. Give me wisdom. He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for riches. He didn't ask for wealth. He just said, give me wisdom. And God gave him wisdom, and everything else obviously was the greatest king to ever live. But my point is that all he did was ask for it. So in order for you to have a vision, a clear vision, a vision that can't get distorted by what's in front of you, a vision that doesn't get distorted by your sight, is going to take you having imagination. It's going to take you having some wisdom. All right. So you got to use your imagination to create something that you physically won't be able to see until it begins to manifest. But a lot of people don't do that. And then you got to have wisdom, right? To be able to plan, to be able to see and understand what's going to be required for that vision to ultimately come to pass. And if you don't have wisdom, if you feel like you aren't wise for the vision to come to pass, then all you got to do is ask for it, because that's a secret that's hidden in the book. If you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book, right? So the definition of wisdom, the ability to think about or plan, right, the future with imagination or wisdom. All right. And then the other three components, we're going to dive into them as we go through the call, but patience, right? I want to hit on that one really quickly. Patience, because when we have a vision, we got to understand that it's something that we have to be patient for. We have to, it doesn't just come because we said it, because we wrote it down. It's already done in the spirit world, but it still takes time for that to actually manifest in the physical world. And a lot of times when we get a vision, right, everything around us could speak opposite to our situation. Matter of fact, if you wrote a vision down and your reality looks completely different from the vision, drop a 1 in the chat box. Right? If you wrote a vision down for 2020, but your future, I mean, your situation says completely otherwise. You wrote down Chairman 10, your back office say customer. You wrote down 6-figure trader, but you don't even have $1,000 to put in your account to get there. Right? So, and that's what happens to a lot of us. But see, it's my belief that the Bible is one of the greatest books because it gives us divine insight on how we manage the time, manage the process, and get through situations like that when everything looks opposite. So I'm gonna read a quick text before I jump back into what I want to jump into, because this kind of hits on a point of time really quickly. And I think everybody's going to get this, and it's going to make so much sense, because we all heard the quote, the text, the scripture, write the vision, make it plain. Those who see it will run, right? Everybody's heard it before, right? But what we don't understand is that when he was given that to write down, right, everything said completely opposite of what he was saying. Everything. When God told him to write the answer on tablets so a runner can see it and run and all that stuff, write the vision, make it plain so whoever sees it will run, right? And the vision is going to come at an appointed time. It's not going to tarry. It's going to come to pass. Just wait on it. It can't lie, right? We've all heard that before. But when you get context, you will see that Habakkuk, the one that wrote that text, everything looked completely opposite of what God was telling him to write down. Let me prove it to you. Right? So if you go to the first chapter, the scripture came out of the second chapter, but the very first chapter, he says, he's complaining, and he says, "How long, O God, must I call for help? But you don't listen. Violence is everywhere, but you don't come to save me. Must I forever see the evil deeds? Why must I watch with my eyes? Why must I watch all this misery? Everywhere I look, I see destruction and violence. I'm surrounded by people who love to argue and fight. Wherever I look, I see destruction and violence. Every time I look at the back office, it's violence. Every time I open my trading account, it's ugly. I'm surrounded by people who only complain. Nobody has a clear vision. Everybody's talking about, oh, I'm having this challenge in my business. I'm having this problem, this retention, this person left, this person went to another company. Right? So he's complaining. And then guess what God told him the first time, before he told him to write the vision and make it plain, in the midst of him complaining, The first reply God gave him before he said, write it down, he said, look around, look and be amazed. Look around at the nations and look and be amazed. So the same eyes that he was using to say, wherever I look, I see destruction and I'm surrounded by people who love to argue and fight. He told him that with the same eyes, I need you to look around at the nations and be amazed, for I'm doing something in your day, something you wouldn't even believe, even if somebody told you about it. So his first complaint was, man, everything is messed up. The back office is messed up. You know, people leaving my business. The numbers looking funny. Nobody coming to the event with me. I ain't even going to the event because I don't got the money. And then God says, just look around. Look around and be amazed. Those same eyes that you're using to complain, right? I need you to use those same eyes and look around and see what I'm doing, even when you can't see, because that's what vision allows you to do. See, the reason why you're so easily fooled is because you only think with your eyes and not your heart. The reason why you're so easily fooled is because you only think with your eyes and not your heart. So you got to keep your eyes open, but see from the heart. Sight is a function of the eyes, family, but vision is a function of the heart. So if you're seeing with your eyes with everything, you're always going to be messed up. The vision is always going to look distorted. It's always going to be blurred. It's never going to be right. Because the same eyes that Habakkuk was using to complain, God told him to use those same eyes. Look around at the nations. Look and be amazed. For I am doing something in your own day, something you wouldn't even believe, even if somebody told you about it. And guess what Habakkuk does? He complains again. Guess what you do? You complain again. You get on the call with David. You get on the call with myself. You get on the call with Alice Moore. And we say, yo, control what you see. Control who you listen to. Write the vision down. And you still complain. Guess what? It was happening back in BC, the BC day. People still complain. So it's all good. People just gonna complain. That's what we do, right? We're flawed by nature. So he complains again. He complains, oh my God, my Holy One, you are sorry returning. Sure, you don't plan to wipe us out, right? Are we only fish to be caught and killed? Are we only sea creatures that have no leader? Right. So he goes to complain again. So God finally says, okay, you know what? I need you to write the vision and make it plain. The vision is for a future time. That's why I said you got to be patient. That's why patience is a requirement for vision, because it says that the vision is for a future time. It describes to the end, and it will be fulfilled. That's where faith comes in. It will be fulfilled. See, your faith is only as strong as the credibility of the person that you're putting it in. Your faith is only as strong as the credibility of the person that you're putting it in. See, the reason why my faith is so strong is because I understand the credibility of the person that my faith is in. So if a random person walked up to you and said, yo, I got $10,000 for you around the corner, all you got to do is go get it. You're going to be like, man, get out of here. Why? Because you don't have a relationship with that person. You don't know that person. There's no credibility with that person. But when there's somebody you have credibility with, your mom, your dad, they tell you something, you believe it. So Habakkuk, he had to listen and understand that the vision was for a future time. It describes to the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place, and it will not be delayed. And then he went on to say what the vision was. Like, a lot of people don't read the full text for context, and they just take the one part. But when you get everything from it, it helps you navigate through your situation. Because a lot of us, we write a vision down, and it doesn't look like anything that's in front of us. But we got to get to a place where we can see from our heart and not our eyes. Because when you see from your eyes, you're easily fooled. Because you're walking by your sight and not by your faith. See, faith is a function of the heart. Right? Faith has a feeling. Faith has a positive emotion. Once positive emotions dominate your mind, faith can now take root in your life and begin to work in your life. But if all your thoughts, if your mind is dominated by negativity, if your mind is dominated by what you actually see, right? I don't have the money. The numbers aren't going my way. People are leaving my business. People are going to other companies. Who cares? Because once you understand what your vision says, it doesn't matter what they do. And I'm going to get to that point in a minute, right? Because I'm going to get into what vision actually does for you in just 1 second. But I need you to really understand that the 5 components of a vision are going to be imagination, wisdom, patience, action, and faith, right? You're going to have to do something, right? You're going to have to put in some work, obviously. But another point I really need you to get, every vision has to be written down. It has to be, and it has to be written down clearly. It has to be written down clearly, and you got to constantly write the vision down over and over and over and over. Just writing the vision down one time and just stuffing it somewhere, it's not going to come to pass. Why? Because you haven't programmed your mind to really, really believe it. You haven't been able to activate your subconscious mind to really, really believe it. I call the subconscious mind the God mind, because I believe that the subconscious mind is the mind that carries emotions, and the emotion of faith is the only way that you can get access to God. Well, faith only comes through your subconscious mind, your God mind. So once faith is activated through your subconscious mind, anytime you say something, you have a vision that you believe is for you, you have something that you desire to happen in your life. Well, when you back the affirmation or the prayer by faith, that can now really reach the kingdom. That can now really reach God. But if there is no faith, if you haven't been reading the vision long enough, if you haven't been writing the vision down over and over and over again, the vision is just in your conscious mind. It hasn't been emotionally attached. There's no emotional attachment to the vision yet. Right? That's why the vision has to be written down multiple times. And here's another secret about writing the vision down. See, when you write the vision down, all right, I need you to really catch this, because this is so good. I just ran across this today as I was reading and I was studying. This hit me like a ton of bricks, right? When I was reading this, right? So when you write the vision down, you now give the spirit something to work with. And I'm about to teach you what I mean. I'm about to show you what I mean. All right. When you write the vision down, you now give spirit something to work with. What do I mean by that? See, your vision is, when you write it down, when you take it out of your mind and put it on paper, that's your receipt to show that you really believe. That's your receipt to show that you really believe, right? You have something that you want to get. You got something that you want to purchase through your faith, through your vision. And you say, cool, I believe so much, I'm going to actually write it down. And it sounds so crazy, but most people really don't write their vision down. There's people on this call that have a vision in here, but they haven't taken it down and put it on paper. They haven't been speaking it. And as long as the vision sits here and you don't speak it and you don't write it down, the enemy can literally play with you here in your mind. He can literally play right there, because that's his playground, right? He can play right there. But as soon as you speak it, right, as soon as you write it, it now moves. It now shifts in the spirit world, and something can actually take root. But when you write the vision down, family, the spirit got something to work with. What do I mean by that? Well, I was just kind of perusing through the word, through the text, and man, I ran across this today, and I was like, wow, this is actually dope. I never looked at it from this perspective. But when the Father sends the advocate as my representative, that is the Spirit, he will teach you and he will remind you of everything that I have told you. So let me read one more time. He will teach you everything, and he will remind you of everything that I have told you. Listen to me. He can't remind you of anything if you haven't written it down. Do you know how many times I get on this call and something would drop in my spirit, but it could only drop in my spirit because somewhere it was written down. All right. It's been so many times where I would literally be on a call, like, oh man, that just hit me. And I could find it somewhere in my notes because it was written down. You can't be reminded of your vision if it hasn't been written down. You can't be reminded. But when you take that vision and you put it on paper, now spirit, intuition can now remind you of what you wrote down when everything is looking bad. Because that vision is going to drop back in your head. That vision is going to drop right back in your spirit. But if it's not written down, he can't remind you of anything. It's right there. It says it right there. he will teach you everything, and he will remind you of everything that I have told you. Because remember, the vision that you get, it doesn't come from you, right? Please understand, the vision that you get, it doesn't come from you, right? That comes from above. He moved on you to give you that vision for whatever it may be. So that vision that he told you, the Spirit will remind you, but if you don't write it down, if you're not speaking it, he can't remind you of what God told you. That's why it's important that you write it down, because until you write it down, your vision isn't valid. Because like he told Habakkuk, he told him to write the vision and make it plain. But guess what? He also told Jeremiah. He said, this is what God says, write down for the record everything I have said to you, for the time is coming when I will restore the fortunes of my people, and I will bring them home to the land that I have gave their ancestors, and they will possess it again. See, I can't make this stuff up. I can't. This is what the Lord says. Write down for the record everything that I have said to you. Right? This is Jeremiah 30. Write down for the record everything I have said to you. For the time is coming. Got to be patient. The time is coming when I will restore the fortunes of my people. I will bring them home to this land that I have gave their ancestors, and they will possess it again. See, that takes faith. Right? See, for the people that he was giving this message to, that will have taken faith for them to really put their weight on that. Right? They was going to have to understand the credibility of the person that gave the vision. Because the person that gave the vision said, I will mean it's a promise. I will mean it has to happen. So now put your vision in that. Because this is what I do to live my life and live my life at such peace. Because I know what the word says. So I can't get flustered about everything. Like I can't get flustered by what I see. Because I know if I only think with my eyes will play tricks on me. Everybody heard that before. Jeremiah, my eyes will play tricks on me. That's why you can't think with your eyes. You got to think with your heart, your subconscious mind, your God mind. But if you didn't say I promise at the beginning of the call, you won't do this stuff. That's why I said, like, you have to make a promise to really, really get this stuff. Because when you get it, you don't worry about all this petty stuff that happens in reality. So what does vision do for you? And we off the call, right? Vision is the source of all discipline. See, vision gives you discipline. When there is no vision, people perish. We all heard that before. But also when there is no vision, people throw off restraint, meaning people lack discipline. There's no restraint. It's undisciplined people living. You wake up when you want to, right? You have no discipline. You don't show the plan when you're supposed to. You don't do anything when you lack vision. But see, when you have a vision, when your vision is clear, man, then your habits begin to change because your vision is so clear. See, when I got clear, when my 2020 got clear, I said, man, I got to get me a trainer, because the places that God is taking me, my body has to be a certain kind of way. I want my suits to fit on me a certain kind of way when I'm on the magazines. I want my suits to fit a certain kind of way when I'm on people's podcasts. I want my suits to fit a certain kind of way when I walk across the stage. So I don't have the discipline right now to just wake up and just go work out when I need to, because I gotta snap back into the mode. So let me get a trainer, because I had a vision. I had a vision of what my 2020 and 2021 and beyond was going to look like. I had a vision of being on stages in different fields outside of network marketing. I had a vision of being on magazines. I had a vision of being on radio shows and podcasts and all this different stuff. And crazy thing about it, I was on a podcast 2 days ago, didn't even know about it, but it was written down on my vision. Right? So I said, let me get a trainer. Why? Because without vision, you don't have any discipline. So I had to get very clear about my vision. And because I was very clear about my vision before 2020 got here, I said, man, I got to get a trainer in 2019 so I can start 2020 with momentum. All right. So that's the first thing that vision can do for you. Vision is the source of all discipline. When you see a person that doesn't have discipline, you will see a person that doesn't have vision. When you see a person, just when you go to work tomorrow, when you go to school tomorrow, you find somebody that's just all over the place, no discipline, I guarantee you they don't have vision. Vision is also your GPS, number 2. Vision is your GPS. It gives you direction. Can you imagine a blind person running? Just imagine that, a blind person with no vision, no sight, running. Can you imagine? Somebody drop in the chat box what happens to a blind person when they're running. Like they're in outside running, a blind person can't see. They're gonna run into something. Exactly. They're gonna fold. They're gonna have a bad accident. They're gonna hit a wall. They're gonna crash. They're gonna fall. Well, how you think you look out here working with no vision? The same thing happens. The same thing happens when you're working with no vision, because your vision is what gives you direction. And see, when you have a vision, that means you know where you're going. And when you know where you're going, you know what roads won't take you there. But if you don't have a vision, you're just running, and you're running anywhere, and you run into anything, and you're running with anyone. Vision also helps you determine your friends. That's a side nugget, sidebar. That wasn't even in the points, right? But that's a sidebar, right? So vision is your GPS. Vision helps you get where it is that you want to go. Because if you know you have a vision to go chairman, right, then you understand that there's some things that you just can't do. There's some activities that you just can't engage in, right? There's going to be some people that you have to cut off. Why? Because you got a vision. And your vision is your GPS. It gives you direction. Right? Vision also helps you determine who you're working with. Vision helps you determine who you're working with. See, when you got a vision of chairman, when you got a vision of becoming a master trader, when you got a vision of becoming a successful entrepreneur, because of that vision, you know who you need to be in alignment with. Like if I'm Martez or Gio or JVL, right? Then I know for a fact, if I want to go chairman 25, there's going to be certain people that I can work with and certain people that I can't work with. Why? Because the people that I need to help me go chairman 25, they're going to have goals of going platinum 1,000 and platinum 2,000 and all that cool stuff. So if I'm working with somebody who does not have no desire to do any of that, then listen, I got to be careful about who I'm spending my time with. Why? Because I have a vision, and my vision is to go chairman 25. My vision is to go chairman 50. My vision is to go chairman 100. If I have a vision to be a master trader, then I know there's some people that I just got to be in alignment with. I got to be in alignment with Chris Derrick. I got to be in alignment with Brittany Burrell on her 11 p.m. Monday calls. I got to be in alignment with Orrin Wright. I got to be in alignment with Stevenson Lindor. There's certain people I just got to be in alignment with. Because that's what your vision does. It helps you determine who you're working with. So for my vision for 2020, I know who I'm working with, right? And I know what type of people I'm going to be working with to help the vision come to pass, because I got a vision. But when you don't got a vision, you don't know you're working with. You just work. You just working, right? When you don't got a vision, you get flustered. Right? Or your vision isn't clear, right? You get flustered, right? You get like nervous when people leave your organization, or somebody decides to go, do something else. They decide to go to another company, right? They decide to switch teams in IML or whatever the heck they want to do, right? But see, when your vision is so super clear, it doesn't matter what they do, because you understand that all things work together for the good of those who are chosen, who are called, and who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. All things. So when somebody leaves, that's working together for my vision to come to pass. When somebody joins, that's working together for my vision to come to pass, because my vision is clear. And my vision isn't determined by who decides to stay. My vision is determined by what I choose and who I choose to believe in. That's what the vision is determined by. And that keeps you at level of peace. All right. Visions force you to work. Next point. Visions force you to work. They force you to. Because when you don't have a vision, this is what people say when they don't have a vision. Man, I need some motivation. Man, can you just call me and push me every day? Like, bro, can you just call me and just make sure you don't have a vision? If you need somebody to call you to motivate you, you don't have a vision. Because you need somebody to push you. But see, when you got a clear vision, man, that vision just pull you up out of the bed in the morning. That vision just push you in front of the computer to do the webinars. That vision just push you, to get in your car and go show the plan. That vision just push you to buy a flight and get to Atlanta for run the play. That vision just push you to get to London. That vision just pushes you and pulls you without any motivation from anybody else, without any external factors, without a mindset mastery call, without a 7-figure mentors chairman call. You don't need it. Because you understand that motivation comes and goes, but inspiration lives inside of you. That vision, that inspiration that you got from that vision lives in your heart, and that what's in your heart, it has no choice but to manifest itself on earth. It's clear to see when somebody's vision hasn't gotten to their heart yet because they need to be motivated. They need to be pushed. We got to beg you to do something. We got to beg you to get on the call. We got to remind you about the calls. You don't got a vision, or your vision isn't clear. Somewhere along the journey, your vision has gotten distorted and it has gotten blurry. But when that vision is clear, man, nobody got to force you to do nothing. The vision just pulls you every single day. See, nobody got to tell me to show the plan. Nobody got to tell me to work. Nobody has to tell me to do that. I just do it because the vision is clear. I just do it, right? I just do it because I know the visions. Right? I know what I've seen with my eyes closed. I know. And when you know, you've won. When you know, you've won. Uh-oh, I typed that to a private dude. When you know, you've won. Look at the last 3 letters and look at them backwards. See, when you know something is going to come to pass, you've already won. And you got to transition from believing to knowing. Once you transition from believing and having faith to knowing, game over. All right. But the vision has to be clear. All right. The vision got to be clear. And the last thing, family, vision gives you perspective. Vision gives you perspective. And perspective is what drives performance. Right? Vision gives you perspective, and perspective is what drives performance. When you look at somebody's performance, you can look at their work that they're displaying and tell what their perspective is like. But when you got a vision, the scope of the lens begins to change. You don't look at problems as problems anymore because you got perspective, and you understand that sometimes problems only become a problem because of our perspective. Because we only thought it was a problem, that's when it became a problem. But if we never thought it was a problem, it would never be a problem. Because sometimes what you think is a problem, I don't think is a problem. Right? What somebody else may think is a problem, I don't think is a problem. Why? Because my vision has given me a different perspective. And my vision tells me that no matter what happens in front of me, that doesn't matter. It's all about what happens in my heart, my God mind. I don't think with my eyes. I don't look at the back office, and the back office determines my feelings. I don't look at how many people get on a webinar, show up to an event, and that determines my feelings. Because I understand that in order for faith to live inside of me, my mind has to be dominated with positive emotions. That's the only way faith can live inside of you. Your mind has to be dominated with positive emotions. Well, what you see determines how you feel. And what you feel determines what you get. Because what you feel determines what type of action that you take. And the action that you take determines your results. So if your feeling is off because your seeing is off, you got a perspective problem. And you got to change your perspective. But having a clear vision gives you proper perspective. And perspective is a problem solver. But if the vision isn't clear, ladies and gentlemen, if somehow along the journey it's gotten distorted, it's gotten out of focus, and the attacks of the vision have hit you, what are the attacks of a vision? Time, distractions, and emotions. That's what kills every vision. Time, distractions, and emotions. oh, it's taking too long. It hasn't happened yet. I've been doing this thing for 6 months and I'm still a platinum 1000. You don't know how good you're winning right now, but whatever. Distractions. Oh my God, retention, the back office. I can't sign anybody up. The cars keep declining about distractions. Emotions. Oh, and because of the time, because of the distractions, your emotions are off now. And because your emotions are off now, remember, your emotions are off because of your perspective. Perspective drives performance. What you see determines what you feel, and what you feel determines what you get. So if you ain't getting nothing right now, it's probably because you ain't seeing right. You ain't feeling right. And that's determining what you've been getting. So in 2020, family, what we got to do is focus, keep the vision clear, keep the vision in front of you, write the vision down. As you see in my planner, here at the top, I wrote Chairman 100 down as many times as I could on that space. And tonight I'll be writing down on this space. All right. So keep it in front of you. Keep writing the thing down. Martez said, what distracts from a vision? Eyesight, reality. That's the biggest distraction of a vision. What you're seeing. That's why you got to see from your heart. Keep your eyes open, but see from the heart. That's what walk by faith really means. Like walk by faith and not by sight. That's what that really means. Keep your eyes open, but see from the heart. Meaning I see what's happening. I recognize what's happening, and that's my reality, but that's not my truth. All right. And your faith in the truth will change the reality. See, the facts may be whatever your back office look like. The facts may be whatever your trading accounts look like. Your facts may be whatever your bank account looks like. But faith in the truth, your vision, right? What God has given you, what you've written down on paper, faith in the truth will always change the facts. But if you have faith in the facts, the truth can never live. And the reason why most people never get what they desire is because they stop believing the truth and they start believing the lies. The lies are what's happening in front of you, right? So that's what distracts a vision. That's the distractions that come when you have a vision, but obviously time, distractions, and emotions. Those are vision killers. Time, distractions, and emotions. Time, distractions, and emotions. So you gotta understand, you gotta have great time perspective. Brian Tracy did an article about 5 reasons, you should Google it. The top 5 reasons why people never become financially successful. And reason number 4 was that they lack time perspective. Right? People lack time perspective. People think like 18 months is a long time. People think 6 months is a long time. People think 2 years, 5 years is a long time. It's not a long time, right? It's not a long time whatsoever. And you got to get to a place where you don't live in time, right? But you live in that. See, that's what I call la la land. Like you got to get to a place where you create a world where certain things don't exist. The reality, the facts of life, the time that it's taking, what's happening in front of you, that stuff doesn't exist because that's what will distract your vision. Oh, well, that group is moving fast. Well, why am I not moving? Well, you're probably not moving because you ain't showing the plan. Simple. It's so simple. See, when people complain about their process, what I do now, I just tell them to open the planner and just show me what you're doing. That's all I need to see. Like, just show me your planner. Why am I not ranking up? Why haven't I got this trading stuff down yet? Well, let me see what your activity looks like. How many events, how many times have you, how many times you calling people a day? Like, how many 3-ways you're doing with somebody? Because you're distracted by what everybody else is doing, but you're not focused on what you need to be doing. So that distraction is taking root inside of you, and it's like changing away your perspective of the business, your perspective of what you're doing. Perspective drives performance. If my perspective is off, my performance is going to be off because I got a bad view about what I do. But when you change how you view what you do will change. When you change how you view what you do will change. Like, for real. And that's game. That's game. Check, mates. I love you all. I pray that you all got value from the call tonight. I look forward to working with so many people in 2020 to helping their visions come to pass, because your vision doesn't come to pass until you help somebody else's vision come to pass. So let's make 2020 the year of harvest. And what we mean by harvest, we're going to harvest bamboo, right? Bamboo trees will be harvested. Bamboo type success stories will be harvested in the year 2020. And I'm super excited to be working with each and every single one of you all. I couldn't ask for more people. I couldn't ask for a better group of people, believers and leaders to work with. I wouldn't trade anybody in our group for anybody, any team, any organization. What we have is special, and I can't wait to see everything come to pass. So love you all. Shut up the bank. Good night. God bless.